Beware the protein trick. Hey there, my name is Dr. Tim Gersmar, and I help middle-aged men recover their mojo so they can feel good, look good, perform well, and age healthfully. If you're a middle-aged guy who feels like he's lost his mojo and you would like actionable next steps on what to do to start getting it back again, let me help you. Just click on the link below this video and I will send you my insights free of any BS, hype, and fads, all for free. So please, just click on the link below. All right, let's talk about the protein trick. To do that, we need to talk about food fads. I don't know about you, but here are some food fads that I can remember. First, it was the low-fat craze. My mom bought low-fat cookies, and they were healthy because they were low-fat, right? Then it was low-carb, and you could buy Atkins bars and pork rinds, and they were healthy because they were low in carbs, right? Then it was gluten, and since gluten was poison, you had to avoid it. But then we saw gluten-free options explode, and there were gluten-free bread and pasta and cookies and donuts and more. But it's okay, they were healthy because they were gluten-free, right? The truth is, the food industry loves fads. Why? Because they want to sell you stuff. There's not a lot of money in selling you things like fruits, vegetables, whole grains, beans, and unprocessed meats. But there is a boatload of money in processed foods. You know, stuff that comes in a box, bag, or can. And let me be clear that there are plenty of healthy foods that you can buy that do come in a box, bag, or a can. But it's a good starting place to ask yourself if what you're looking at is actually a good choice for you. So there's tons of money in processed food, especially snack and junk food. I mean, just look all around you. The trick for the food industry is understanding what is going to make you want to buy it. Now, for a lot of people, including many middle-aged guys, we want to eat healthier, but it's complicated. And of course, we want to eat tasty food. We want to eat treats and junk food because they're tasty. So the food industry knows that if they can latch on to whatever the latest trend is, a lot of people will buy that thing because it's tasty and it's healthy, right? And what's the latest fad that's bubbling up right now that we're seeing everywhere? Protein! Walk down the grocery store aisle and you'll see the label protein slapped on just about everything. Heck, the other day I even saw high protein candy and high protein soda. Soda? What the heck? Please, please do not fall for this protein trick. Just because a junk food has the word protein written on it does not make that junk food healthy. This is called the health halo effect. We've heard that eating protein is good and healthy. Therefore, if this thing, whatever it might be, has protein in it, then it is healthy. But a cookie with protein in it is still a cookie. Chips with protein in them, they're still chips, and on and on. They're still junk food. And of course, remember, we do not have to be perfect in our diets in order to be healthy. But these kind of foods, treats and junk food, they should make up less than 20% of our weekly diets. So please, don't think that just because a cookie says high protein on it, that it's a healthy food. It's not. It's maybe a slightly better or slightly healthier choice. But here's the other thing. It's even worse. For many of these foods, the only thing that has changed about them is the label on the box. Nothing about the actual food, the cereal, the chips, the cookies, or whatever it is, has been changed in any way. All of these foods had some protein in them before because most foods have some amount of protein in them already. So the food manufacturers simply change the label to tout the fact that the thing has protein in it without changing anything about the thing. It's still just as unhealthy for you as it was before. They didn't improve it or make it better or higher protein in any way. Now, if you want to know if something is protein rich and actually high protein, a good general rule of thumb is to look at the nutrition label. You look at the amount of protein per serving, and you multiply that by 10, and then you look at the actual calories per serving listed on the label. So if it has 10 grams of protein, you'd want to see the calories listed around 100. Certainly no more than 150 and absolutely no more than 200. In comparison, I grabbed a bar off a shelf the other day that's being marketed to active kids as a healthy choice. It has 2 grams of protein. Now that should stop you right there. Something with 2 grams of protein is not a good source of protein. But we multiplied those 2 grams of protein by 10 to get 20 calories. Do you think that bar had 20 calories in it? Yeah, not at all. The bar had 150 calories, so nowhere near our high protein goals. At 150 calories, it should have somewhere around 15 grams of protein per serving instead. And you'll find a lot of similar foods out there being touted as good sources of protein, that don't actually have a good amount of protein in them. All right, let's get to today's takeaway. The protein trick is just capitalizing on the latest fad of high protein. Manufacturers want to sell you snack and junk food, and they're hoping the health halo of protein will get you to buy their stuff. But please remember, a cookie is a cookie. If it's a low-fat cookie, a high-protein cookie, a gluten-free cookie, it might be a slightly better choice than a regular cookie, or it may not be. Also, it's okay to have some cookies or other snack or junk foods, just not too much. And the average guy is eating way too much. A good general rule of thumb of whether something is high protein is to multiply the amount of protein in it by 10 and then look at the calories. It doesn't always have to match that, but it should be somewhat close if you're looking for a high protein food. Now, when it comes to getting your protein, there are three categories. First, we have our naturally rich protein foods, things like lean meats, eggs, and low-fat or skim dairy. Also things like beans, other legumes, and soy. And yes, there are many other foods that also have protein in them and can absolutely be a part of a healthy and balanced diet. The second category are our protein powders and bars. These can be good supplemental sources of protein for those who either need them or want them. Most protein powders are high in protein, but many protein bars out there are just glorified candy bars that are high in calories and actually not that rich in protein, so please use the 1-to-10 ratio that we've been talking about. The third category is what we've been talking about here, the protein junk, the chips, the cookies, the donuts, the cereal, candy, and yes, even soda apparently. These are not healthy. Indulge once in a while if you want to, but eat them because you like the taste, not as a source of protein. For me, if I'm going to eat a cookie, I'm also almost always going to choose the most delicious cookie, the one that's almost assuredly not a protein cookie, and then make sure the rest of my diet gives me my protein and nutrition. Now that you know about the protein trick, you can save your money and your waistline. And in the future, we'll talk more about a healthy diet, and it is definitely not as complicated or as hard as many influencers make it out to be. And of course, we will continue breaking down the myths, fads, BS, and bad information out there so that you can focus on doing the things that are truly going to help you to feel better, look better, perform well, and age healthfully as a middle-aged man. I hope that you will join me. And just a reminder, if you'd like genuinely useful health insights, please click on the link below and I'll send those to you for free. All right, guys, until then, take care.